Hi everybody. Today let me invite you for the wonderful session of LTI system representations in time domain. What do you mean by LTI? Linear time invariant system representations in time domain, which is of lecture 6 now. Now this is coming under VTU syllabus for 4th semester EC students under module 2. This need not have to be ECE students only, any branch students, anybody, not only engineering students, anybody who is interested in doing signal processing, MTech, PhD, right, which is the area of today's world, they can see this all my lectures, right, of signal processing, right. Now, in my previous all 5 lectures, we discussed LTI systems, linear time invariant systems, where x of n and y of n are input and output. H of n is impulse functions of the system, which is all expressed, x of n and y of n expressed in terms of impulses, in terms of shifted impulses. And we know first, we have derived actually also how the x of n is written in terms of shifted impulses studied. And also the output of these LTI systems, any LTI linear time invariant systems, can also be expressed as, right, shifted impulse form only. That we have seen, and we have solved problem also. How to get the y of n in terms of shifted impulses, we have seen graphical method, simple problems, last classes. This is also nothing but finding of output of LTI systems for discrete time signals is also nothing but convolution sum. That's what we discussed. And also in that, we discussed convolutions properties, 4 different beautiful properties last class we studied, right? That is the commutative property, associative property, distributive property, and one more property, signals, convolutions of signal x of n with impulse functions. We discussed last class, right, all that. Now let us see the other 2 properties, right, which helps reorient signal processing to process the signals, right, better and efficiently, right, to do my projects, right. Now what is that? The convolutions of this property says that take a sequence x of n, right, the convolutions of delayed unit impulse sequence. For example, the convolutions of delayed impulse. See, delta of n is a function, impulse function, delayed by k. Delayed impulse unit sequence is convoluted with x of n. Convolutions of delayed unit impulse sequence with x of n is equivalent to, that is this into delta of n minus k into x of n is equivalent to shifted unit input functions only, shifted input sequence only. For example, if you multiply this with shifted impulse functions, you will get the functions, signals shifted by this shifted value. Function, what is the signal itself? Shifted by x of n minus k. This is what the property. Now let us see how to prove this. For example, right? See this. Take an example, x of n is equal to 2 sequence, 1 into 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, x of n input sequence. Now multiply or convolute this with a shifted sequence delta of n minus k, which is shifted by 2. Let's say delta of n minus 2. Impulse function shifted by 2 seconds. Let's say that is this. Impulse function delta n shifted by 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, you get 1. That's what impulse functions shifted by 2. Right? So let me multiply or convolute your input x of n with shifted sequence. Then what you will get is the sequence itself is shifted by this shift, x of n minus 2. That's what this property says. How to prove this? For example, here see 2 sequences I have taken. Delta of n minus 2 is 1. Now when you multiply, when you convolute that, you will get your x of n minus 2. That means x of n started after 2 seconds. Now after 2 seconds it is 1. After third, what is at 3 it is 1. At 2 it is 1. Here at 0 is 1. At 1 is 1. That is shifted by 2. Now this, let's see how the proof. How when you do this, how do you get this? Now already we have done this, right, in case of our, in my previous sessions. Take this x of n, write individual samples. Two samples are there, no? Write individually. Take this first sample, write individually. Call it as x1n. Multiply with or convolute that with your shifted sequence, this sequence, second sequence, delta of n minus 2. Then what will happen? Then this is the sequence, delta of n minus 2. Multiply that samples with these samples. You will get y1n. y1n. y1n is 1 into 1. 1 into 1 is 1. Over. Next. Take the second individual samples, shifted samples. This is second individual sample. This is at 1 it is 1. Now see x2n. Now this plus this you have to do later. Now, then rate shift whatever delta of n is n minus 2 is given now, rate shift by 1. This is a technique. Always keep x of n as it is. Take second, first write as it is, multiply and write. Then shift the rate, what is that, rate by 1. Then multiply, shift by 1 more, multiply. This is the process. Now rate shift by delta of n minus 2 by 1 second. What will happen? Now this becomes rate shift by 1 second. Your delta of n minus 2 shifted by 1 second means at 3 you will get 1. At 2 you will not get anything. At any other point you will not get. Then your output starts at 3. Now that 1, multiply that shifted sequence with this sequence. 1 at 3 you will get 1 now. 1 into 1 is 1. That is why you are getting y2n as at 3 is only 1. Now this y1n, this y2n, only 2 sequences are there. Right? Then add these two, you will get the answer. See now? Add input, x of n is equal to x1n plus x2n. Input side it is same as your x of n. Then that is convoluted with delta of n minus 2, which is equal to. Now see, at 2 you will get 1. Now see, at 2 it starts, at 0 nothing is there, 1 nothing is there. At 2 it is 1, at 3 it is 1. Therefore, you will get answer as at 2 1, at 3 1, which is nothing but your x of n shifted by 2 sequences only. Now see, at 2 it is 1, at 3 it is 1. Therefore, this is nothing but when you multiply, that's the proof. When you multiply any sequence x of n with shifted sequence, delta of n shifted impulse, then you will get sequence itself is shifted by this sequence. That's the answer. That is property number 5. Always we are using in our expressions in my signal process. Now property number 6 is very simple. No proof. Just remember this statement. Convolutions of 2 delayed unit impulse sequences. That is, let's say one delayed is delta of n is delayed by m second. Then one more delta n delayed by k seconds. Then is equivalent to or is equal to convolutions of the delayed sum of 2 sequences. It is like this. Delta n delayed by m, convolutions delta n delayed by k becomes delta n minus sum of these 2 delays. That is m plus k. That's all this property. For example, take one example. One is delta n is delayed by 2 seconds, delta n delayed by 3 seconds. Then you make use of this property delta n minus 2 plus 3, 5. Delta n minus 5. This is what the delayed unit pulse. What is the convolutions of delayed unit impulse? Right? Now, by making use of all these 6 beautiful property, now we can solve. We can process, right, the LTI outputs. Output, input, right. Now we can do complex signal processing. Right. Earlier it is right, x of n, h of n, x of n and y of n. We have seen that some graphical input and graphical output. Now let's see the complex exponential functions delta to the power n into u of n, right? Which where alpha varies from 0 to 9, 0 to 1. Then if alpha is equal to 0.8, you will get one exponential. If alpha is equal to 0.8, you will get one more exponential. Like that, complexity. Complex signal processing, we'll see now. Exponential to exponential. What is the meaning? If we give exponential input, we get exponential output for complex value of alpha 0 to 1. That's the limit. Now let me explain this through one example. Right, how to give exponential input and how to get exponential output of LTI systems. Well, let us use all that and we'll see. Now this is the problem. Find and plot the output signal y of n for x of n is equal to alpha to the power n into u of n. This is what exponential input. Exponential is there, alpha to the power exponential of n. U of n is your step functions. You know it, u of n is equal to 1 for n greater than or equal to 0, right side of the functions. Then h of n is equal to u of n. That is, second signal is h of n, this signal. This is x of n, this is y of n, This is h of n is there, no? H of n is giving it as u of n. U of n means just f functions. It starts from n 0 onwards. Right, it is 1. Now this is the problem. And alpha values varies from 0 to 1. That means 0, 1, 2, 3. You will get each time different depending on alpha. Let me take alpha as 0.9, right, in this example, and let me show you. Right. Now, we know that this proof is very simple. We know that first the equations y of n is equal to linear convoluted equations is equal to x of n into x of n convolutions h of n is equal to summations k is equal to, we know the standard equations, k is equal to minus infinity plus infinity x of k into h of n minus k. This is in terms of shifted impulse we have proved, right? This is called as equations, standard equations. Now let alpha is equal to, is given in the expressions. Let alpha value is equal to 0.9, 0.8 or 0.6, you do it. Now it should be coming in between less than 1 and it should be greater than 0. Now let me do this. First I want 4 diagrams. You remember these 4 diagrams. First diagram what actually your x of n given versus n what you write. Second diagram second input, that is input. Second is impulse h of n versus n. First 2 diagram you write by looking the equation. First equation is x of n, input is, this input is x of n is equal to alpha to the power n into u of n. Exponential functions is given. Now let us see how it is exponential. For example, plot that. When you plot x of n versus n, you will get exponentially decaying signal. We'll see how it is. For example, let me do it here. Take the equations x of n, alpha, let us say alpha is equal to 0.9, exponential input this is. X of n is equal to alpha to the power n into u of n. I know this. U of n is right sided sequence. What is that? U of n is equal to 1 for n greater than or equal to 0. It is like this. Right? You know this. 100 times you have written. N, this is u of n. U of n is at 0 its value is 1. Afterwards at 1 it is 1. At 2 it is 1. Up to right side it is 1. Left side it is 0. This is u of n. Now x of n is equal to alpha to the power n into u of n given. Suppose n is equal to 0. N is equal to 0. N is equal to 0. X0 is equal to 0.9. Alpha is said it is given 0.9 to the power. Let's say assume alpha is 0.9. 0.9 to the power 0 into 1. U of 0 is 1. See this, u of 0 is 1. Right. Therefore, x of 0 is equal to 0.9 to the power 0. 0.8 to the power 0 or anything to the power 0 is 1. 1 into 1 is equal to 1. Therefore, at 0, you will get 1. Irrespective of alpha, any value, right, alpha may be 0.8 also, 0.3 also, 0.4 also, you will get at 0, 1 more. Next, when n is 1, substitute here, x1 is equal to 0.9 to the power 1 into u of 1. U of 1 is 1, u of 2 is 1. X of 1 is equal to 0.9 into 1 is equal to 0.9. Let's see now, at 1, 0.9. At 2 similarly, 0.9 square into u of 2. U of 2 is 1. 0.981 into 0.81 into 1. That is equal to 0.81. Now see, like this, you will get exponentially decreasing, decaying signals. That is why input given is exponential. Exponential input. This is what he is giving. Exponential input. Now, h of n is u of n. No, nothing. That is your right normal step functions. U of n. H of n is equal to at n is equal to 0, at n 1, n greater than 0 and is equal to 0, its value is 1. Right. Standard step discrete functions. H of n is equal to u of n. H of n versus n. First, what is the work? First, write x of n versus n given exponential input. Decay. H of n, second functions, h of n versus n. Next. Third is, see this output, see these equations, standard equations of y of n of these two linear convolution sequence is nothing but summations k domain. K is equal to minus infinity plus infinity x of k, shifted impulses, h of n minus k. Therefore, you have to convert x of n versus n as x of k versus k, h of n versus n as h of k versus k. Next two graphs. See, same only I am writing. X of n versus n is there now. Xk versus k you write. No change. For example, at 0 it is value. X of k is equal to alpha to the power instead of n, k. Into u of k is k, that's all. K is 1. Therefore, it is same. Graph is same. At 0 it is 1. At 1 it is 1. 0.9. Only k domain. This is k. Right. Similarly, third one you take, second one, write fourth one. First one you take, write instead of x of n versus n, x of k versus k. Here h of n versus n, h of n minus k. Shifted sequence you have to write. Why? See this thing. What is second one you need? Mirror image. H of n minus k you need. This is a procedure. Just remember this. Right. Now after finishing this problem, you will understand. Now, whatever second is there now, you write that as mirror image h of n minus k this side. This side is there now, just write mirror image h of n minus k as exact opposite. H of n minus k versus k is equal to, now see, it starts at k is equal to n. Actually it is at this exactly reverse. It is mirror image. Whatever there now, write this side 1 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. Now like this, first four diagrams are very important. First diagram is x of n versus n. Second is second function h of n versus n. Then each and every problem you have to convert x of n y versus n as x of k versus k. And fourth diagram is just mirror image of second. H of n is there now, h of n minus k, right? Then after this, start the process. Very simple. When n less than 0, for example, consider these two diagram. N less than 0, anything is there? See this, nothing is there. N less than 0, what happens to your problem? This output. When n less than 0, y of 0 is nothing but the multiplications of x of k into h of n minus k is 0. N less than 0. Right? Let me write that part. Let me write this. When n less than 0, that side, first two diagram you look, x of k into h of n minus k is value 0. Y of n is equal to 0 for n less than 0. That is the first conclusion. Then, when n greater than, see the first two diagram only. Then, n less than 0 over. N greater than 0 or equal to 0 only, you will get values. That value depends on k. K varies between where to where? K is equal to 1, let's say. K is equal to 1 in this. K value varies from 0 to n. 0 to n. 0 to n, when you do this, multiplications of these things you will get. Right? That's the meaning. When n less than 0, nothing you will get. N greater than 0 only, it starts actually. That's what I write like this. But that k value varies between where to where? 0 to n. That's what I am writing. See, when n greater than or equal to 0, multiplications of x of k into h of k are given non-zero values between 0 to n. K varies between 0 to n. That's why I am writing 0 to n. Now see that. What is that? What it says? Then when n greater than or equal to 0, multiplications of this x of k and h of n minus k gives non-zero values between k varies between 0 to n. 0 to n. Now see this 0 to n. This 0 to n. Now, therefore, equation becomes y of n is equal to summation. Instead of minus infinity to plus infinity, it is 0 to n. 0 to n. Right? X of k into h of n minus k. What is x of k? X of k is alpha to the power k. You know this. Alpha to the power k. Same here. Alpha to the power k into u of k is 1. Here also u of k is 1. Therefore, write this x of alpha to the power k into 1. Between 0 to n. The right step. H of n minus k is also 1. H of n minus k is also, they write, see this. This also unit step functions. It is 1. Amplitude. Therefore, your expression is k summations k is equal to 0 to n alpha to the power k into 1. That is equal to summations varies from k is equal to 0 to n alpha to the power k. Then there is a standard equations for this already we know. It is finite sum k is equal to 0 to n. What is the standard equations already we have done in all previous sessions. When alpha to the power n summations varies from 0 to n minus 1, let's say finite sum 0 to 8. Then answer is 1 minus alpha to the power next term of this n minus 1 is n by 1 minus alpha. Alpha not equal to 1. Alpha should not be equal to 1. What is equal to 1? What happens? 1 minus 1 is 0. Something by 0 is infinity. Therefore, it should not be equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, then there is one more formula. Then summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Alpha to the power n is nothing but n. You know this. Alpha, let's say 1. 1 to the power n. Let's say n as 8. Then 0 to 8. 0 to 7 times. You have to do 1 to the power 0, 1 to the power 1, 1 to the power 2, 1 to the power 7, which is equal to 8. That's why n is equal to 8. If you consider n as 8, right? You will get n as 8. This is the formula. This first numerator I am making use of it here. What is that? Here also this is also same. Conventions k is equal to 0 to n alpha to the power k. Alpha place, right? N alpha same only is there. In place of n, k I am having, which is equal to, apply like that, 1 minus alpha to the power. What is the next term of n? N plus 1. That is what here, no? Next term of n minus 1 is here. Standard. 1 minus alpha to the power n plus 1 by 1 minus alpha. 1 minus alpha. N should be greater than or equal to 0. N less than 0, nothing. 0. Now plot this. When you plot this output, you will get exponential input. See this? Now, this is output. Y of n versus n. When you write this, see now, y of n, formula is there. 1 minus alpha to the power n plus 1 by 1 minus alpha. This is the formula. Last one, no? This is. Now what happened? I know alpha I have considered as 9, 0.9. Because it should be, it is less than, alpha is less than 1 given in the problem. Now, when n is 0, at 0, let us say, at 0, y0 is equal to 1 minus 0.9 to the power. What is n? N is 0. 0 plus 1 by 1 minus 0.9. Alpha is 0.9. 1 minus 0.9 to the power 1 is 0.9. 1 minus 0.9 is 0.1. 1 minus 0.9 is 0.1. 0.1 by 0.1 is 1. Therefore, at 0, you will get this one. Then, similarly, at 1, substitute here, y of 1 is equal to 1 minus 0.9 to the power 1 plus 1 by 1 minus 0.9. 1 minus 0.9 square by 0.9, 0.1. 1 minus 0.81 by 0.1, which is equal to 1.9. This is what you are second. At 1, you will get 0.1, 0.9. Like this, at 2, you will get some more, like 3, you will get some more. You will get exponential output only. At infinity, at large value of infinite value, 1 by 1 minus alpha you will get. That means you will get infinite, exponentially increasing functions. If input is exponentially decreasing like this, given already, then you will get exponential only. That is where now see, that is where then plot. Plot 1, you will get figure 1. Figure 1 means what? This figure you will get. Right, this. Now, then what is the conclusions? This is how we can get exponential output. Exponential output for an exponential input in signal processing. In a signal processing, we need exponential inputs only we are talking actually. Right? We are not talking just step functions or impulse function. No, we are talking only exponential inputs and outputs in the image or in a signals or in a multiprocessing. Right? That's what actually reality. What is the difference here in this problem, in this complex problem? The difference is, only difference is if input is exponentially decaying, output is of LTI what is giving? Exponentially growing. See this? The input given is exponentially decaying. It is reducing. Starts from high value, reduce. Input of LTI system is giving, right? Exponentially growing, right? But both are exponential. In terms of exponential, these are we are discussing, analyzing, right? Graphical output. We are analyzing signal processing, and linear convolution sum is done like this, right? I hope I'm clear, right? With this input actually, right? With one exponential input x of n. Let's see. Maybe next sessions we will see h of n also. If it is exponential, what is your convolution sum output? If both are exponential only, many complex processing, we need that type of only, right? Then we'll see that in the next sessions. Till that, thank you, goodbye, and yeah, I hope I'm clear. Please study this and do projects, do seminars, everything, right? And enjoy the signal process. Thank you.